Hey guys, Kylie here at KB Equipment Rental. I have with us today our Kubota KX033 mini excavator. Gonna show you guys actually an interesting video today on how to wash the equipment when you're done, how to clean the equipment. Believe it or not, we've had quite a few customers actually ask us, if you are on a job site that does not have water, it is definitely harder. The main thing that we are concerned with is the undercarriage, which is the sprockets, the rollers, and the same's going to apply for a skid steer. So I'll just make one video with the mini excavator, but same concept for both. The big thing is just getting any mud, build up debris, whatever clay is down in the sprockets and rollers out of there as best you can. So if you don't have water access on a job site, take a broom, take a shovel. I've had folks use crowbars, just to poke, hammers, whatever you have access to. Get in there obviously with the machine off, but I've had folks get in there down and dirty with their hands and just start pulling clumps of mud out. That's the biggest thing. As far as the cab goes, make sure that you wipe out any dust in there. You could even use a dry rag if it's just dusty in there. If not, use a bottle of water and a little bit of that on a rag and wipe out the inside of the cab, and that should do. So there's no excuse for at least showing some effort, even if you say, hey, I don't have access to water on the job site that I'm going to be at. Now, if you do have water access, a pressure washer is going to be best. If you don't have a pressure washer, then at least a garden hose with a nozzle on it is going to be second best. Just as much pressure as you can get in there. So going to show you guys really quickly what I do. I usually start with the undercarriage, the sprockets and rollers, just because they're usually the muddiest, and as soon as I do them, it's going to splatter mud all over the rest of the machine on the body. So there's no point in me doing the body until the end. So I'm going to get in there, try to get behind, go at different angles, try to get all up in the sprockets and rollers. Then I'm going to do the tracks, the outside of the tracks. I'm going to do the blade, front and back, the bucket. I'll even get up in it sometimes and reposition the bucket so I can actually spray directly up in it to get any mud to just fall out of the bucket, the teeth, the thumb on it. Then I'll do the body from there, the boom on both sides, the body all around, and then I'll show you how I very carefully do the cab. You can get some water in the cab. It's not going to hurt it, just around any HVAC, like any of the AC vents, around any of the electronics or the screen. Just try not to blast water directly in it. I more so spray toward the windows and the floor anytime that I'm spraying inside a cab, and I simply let the mist that it's going to create give a little bit of water to the rest of what's in the cab. That way I can just go in with a rag after, dry cloth, and just wipe a lot of that up for a spot-free finish. But I'll show you guys really quickly how I do that. I'm going to hit it with a pressure washer, usually like a 15-degree nozzle, 25-degree nozzle on your pressure washer, whatever you have to work with. I'm going to do all of that first. Then me, because I'm a little bit extra, I'm going to go through second with a degreaser, a special soap with some degreasing agents in it, and soak that all over it, and then hit it one final time, again with just a 25-degree tip on my pressure washer. And then I'll show you how I wipe down the cab and do that. So let's just do our first quick run, getting the bulk of the mud out, and I'll probably fast forward through a lot of this. By the way, this is actually how a machine came back from a customer. So I want to show you guys. Sometimes it might look clean to you and you say, oh my gosh, how are they going to charge a cleaning fee? I rinsed it off. A quick rinse doesn't necessarily get all the clumps of mud out, and you can see I'm going to have to stand here for days to get this out. I'll fast forward the video for you, but that's a reason that we have to charge. So you can do this for us. It's a lot better. It saves you money. You're definitely going to want some eye protection while you do this. Oftentimes there's small little specks of rock or dirt that fly up into the eyes, so be careful. There's a giant clump of mud that came off, but then there's a one actually back up in here. And sometimes you just have to hold steady on it and just chip away at it. And even with pressure washers, sometimes it helps if you do have a tool nearby to, try to grab in there. I'm trying not to get too dirty today, but sometimes I've even reached in there and grabbed it if it's willing to come out, if it's small enough and broken down enough by the water. if you're doing it right, it should take you a while. And now you see why we charge, because sometimes if I have a machine going back out on back-to-back rental, it might be raining outside. I'm stuck doing this in the rain. That's even worse. You can imagine I'm pretty upset when that happens. But either way, I'm getting blasted. I'm gonna be disgusting and dirty. I can't go just clock out and, you know, hang out with friends and family. I gotta get all cleaned up. It's a whole thing every time that we have to clean these. And that is why we charge such a hefty cleaning fee. We don't want to do it. We want you to do it. A lot of this mud was caked down in behind the sprockets. Hard to see with the eye. I try to get all up in here. Another stubborn area that I'm getting ready to do is this roller here. You can see even behind the blade. I'm going to lift this blade up when the time comes to get behind the blade, all up in here. I mean, this thing's dirtier than what you'd think. Also going to take you longer to clean than a lot of people think. You're doing it right if it takes you a while to do. You can see I'm just getting started. The body, I'm not looking for showroom ready, y'all. The main thing is the tracks, the blade, you know, the things that are gonna rust with mud sitting on them or get caught up in there. The body, I usually just get a quick rinse. There's gonna be grease all over it at times. I try to be careful around the decals and stickers. I don't peel them off. Sometimes I'm guilty of it. And again, guys, I'm not looking for showroom ready, but I'm just gonna give you an example. When this comes back, I shouldn't have dirt and mud all clumped up in there. I shouldn't have dirt and mud clumped up all in here. This isn't the worst I've seen the bucket, but you know, all this stuff should be cleaned out. Sometimes folks will actually leave quite a bit up in here, but that's what we're trying to avoid. So the bucket and blade don't take me as long because I'm just getting that stuff off of them. It's the tracks and rollers, like I said, that's the main thing, but let me get this blade cleaned up. Got it under the blade. In this case, it's actually caved on here. And you guys wonder why I charge when you say, oh, I mean, it looks clean. Yeah, quick glance behind a wall from 100 feet away. Keep chipping away at that. Let me show you the cab. Again, I really just hit the windows and the floor and then wipe it all out with a rag. Now I'm going to hit it with some degreaser. I like to hit the back side of the tracks too. You'll see there's quite a bit caked in there. Closer to show y'all what I do here. Yeah, I'm gonna track mud in it, getting in it. That's fine. I just dry everything up that might be wet. And I'm wiping some dust up as I go. If I see anywhere extra dirty, I'll try to give it a little extra attention. The boots that are around the joysticks will hold a lot of water in them, so I personally just get up in the grooves of that. Mainly just trying to get the water. My HVAC controls, my throttle, radio, try to get all this stuff dried up real nice so it doesn't have a bunch of mud splatter, because it's not like a car where it's just going to dry with water spots. It's going to be mud spots. You can't really see through them, so I try to actually get all the water out. I don't do anything too much with the windows. If I'm feeling frisky, I will Windex them once everything's dried. That's just me. I don't expect you guys to do that. Although you'll get some major brownie points if you do. Then, this is just something I do for y'all. Spray a little SC1 once it's dried. Restores some of the plastics, gives it a good smell. It's broke. Wipe it down again. Just give it a little bit of shine. Makes it look nice for y'all. Smells a lot better. Even a paper towel just to get some of that water would be nice, because sometimes, like I said, it will dry, not as clear water drops, but with some dirt on them. And then I gotta go clean it because you can't see to operate it. And I'll step out. I don't stress too much about the floor, as long as it's not caked in absolute mud. But I will, when I know that I'm done with my rag, go through and just give it one little wipe. Get some of that out of there. It just dries way cleaner looking than it otherwise would. And as soon as you move it, you're gonna get a little bit of mud up in the tracks again. That's okay. Trying to avoid any major turns is what's gonna keep it clean for you. The big thing as far as customers are concerned is just making sure that you get your bucket, blade, undercarriage, which is the sprockets and rollers, up inside the track. Get your tracks clean and wipe your cap down. That's the big thing. So that's pretty much it in all her glory. Back up so y'all can see that, but she is nice and clean now, and it only took me a little over an hour, but again, that wasn't the worst one that I had seen come back. It was actually one of the cleaner ones that we've had to charge for. Wasn't one of the dirtiest, and I've been doing this a while, but it might take you a little bit longer, not too sure, but I'm gonna guess that probably took me a little bit over an hour.